All right, folks, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, the pickems for stage 2 of the Blast Austin Major have just gone live. Stage 1, I'm not even gonna talk about. Things did not go as expected. We got 2 right. We got Heroic 3-0, Bedboom didn't go 3-0, Chinggis Wars and Vision didn't get eliminated 0-3, and out of all of those, FlyQuest, Complexity, Imperio, Bait, and Wildcard did not make it through. So stage 1 was a complete mess. Now, we will try and do our best for stage 2 and actually redeem ourselves, which I think it arguably could be even harder because some of you might have seen the matchups. And yeah, quite difficult to actually pinpoint who's going to do well, who's going to do bad because of all sorts of different factors. And actually, I thought it would be easier for me to make up my mind considering I've been watching every single game pretty much out of stage 1 on the Bulgarian broadcast, and I've been casting all of the games, but I am not sure I know what to expect out of this one. Now, there isn't a lot of time for those of you that don't know. There isn't even one day between stage 1 and stage 2. That is the reason I'm recording this at literally 3:30 a.m. my time, so I can upload it as quickly as possible, and you can probably check it out. So going into this one, we're looking at the first stage or the first round matchups of the games of stage 2. Now we have some of the top dogs joining the party, which should be on paper easier for us to actually make up our minds on who's going to be the 3-0. Now, in my mind, there is one team that is a clear 3-0, and that should be the Falcons. Why I think that is? I think the Falcons get a matchup against Bait, who are an incredibly solid team, and I will probably put them to go through 3-1, 3-2. I still think Bait sometimes in BO1s could be a little bit shaky against better opposition, and I think we saw a really good example of that in the MRQ. For those of you that have watched it, Bait did lose their first 2 BO1s now. In their games here, they played OG and Imperial in stage 1 in the BO1s, and they were able to take both of them down. Lost 11 rounds to Imperial, lost 9 rounds to OG, which is a bit of a 50-50 game. I still would say that for my money, Falcons is the best team in this stage, and I would say it's probably the easiest bet to go with them to go for a 3-0. Then I see a lot of people going Heroic or Face Clan. I do agree with the angle that whichever one of those teams wins their first game could go 3-0. The one reason I will probably try and stay away from them is because I think it's a 50-50 matchup in a BO1 between Face Clan and Heroic. I think it's too risky. I think both those teams are some of the best teams in the stage. But for me, personally, it feels a little bit safer to go with them just to advance in a 3-1, 3-2 fashion. Rather than just going with the 3-0 on the back of, you know, me saying, hey, Face Clan have had a 2-week boot camp, and Carrigan says that this is the best boot camp they've had in a long time. Everyone says that Simple's doing well and things are great. Or with Heroic to say they're 3-0, they're going to be warmed up. There's literally a lot of arguments for both those teams to win that particular BO1, and we should not forget it's just the best of one. So it is really difficult to actually make up our minds there. Now, for the second team that I am willing to consider for 3-0, and this is a bit of a tough one because I haven't even looked at the calculator, which of course, if you want to be really serious about, you should probably do if you want to be really serious about the pickems. Now, the one team that I think could go under the radar and actually be a 3-0 here, interestingly enough, I think 3D Max and Furia have good draws for the first round matchups because we're looking at the first round matchups. Obviously, Falcons are playing Bait. We have Face Heroic. We have 3D Max playing Bedboom. And as much as I like Bedboom and as much as I'm trying to find an angle for Boomage and Cold to go forward, I really do believe that with Exile not being able to show up individually, this team will struggle. If Exile was there to show up and, you know, show his potential and his, well, not potential, but his experience, like Boomer said in an interview, then I would say that Bedboom is definitely a team that could be top 16 at this major, and I really believe that they have the quality of players. But for a 3-0, I don't think they have the consistency. I really see them losing a map here or there, and I think they do have the potential to go through. They're just a really iffy team. They're that type of a team that could beat anyone, but they could also lose to anyone. And they quite often make their games look too close for comfort. So that is the reason that I'm not sold on them. I think between them and 3D Max, one of those two teams could go 3-0 or could literally bomb out. This is how volatile they both are. Virtus Pro OG is a really unpredictable game in my eyes. Both those teams, Difficult to say if they're going to go through 3-0, if they're going to go through it all. Nemiga Payne is one that I think I would probably put Payne in if they had more time to play with DGT, but I just think they've been together for a pretty short amount of time, and I'm not sure if I'm banking on them being really cohesive and good. Although uh, they were quite shit in his debut. To be quite honest, they lost a best of 3 to Odic, a best of 3 to Astralis, a best of 3 to MIBR, beat only Hotu. Thing is, now they've had a little bit of time to actually practice with DGT, and I believe Pain will be a much better team. But still, there are other lineups that I would rate a little bit higher. Now, um, for the 3-0, as I was already starting the conversation there, I guess who makes a lot of sense. I think Fury is actually a good shout there because they do have an opening game against Limvision, and unless they have to play a BO3 against the Falcons, I honestly believe that Fury could make it 3-0. The thing is, Fury in my eyes is a team that should make it through regardless. So I'm not sure if I'm willing to risk them for a 3-0 because I think they could drop a map and still make it through. But ooh, this is a tough one. You know what? I am second guessing myself between 3D Max and Fury. I think I think those are the two teams that I'm thinking about. We're gonna go with, let's put Fury in here for now. Although, no, you know what? We're gonna go 3D Max. Yeah, screw it. 3D Max are incredibly volatile, but I think they lose to, in this stage, they lose to the Falcons. They probably lose to FaZe Clan. They could lose to Heroic. If they don't play against any of those teams, though, I think they might be good. Um, but yeah, we will find out. I think 3D Max could ride the wave of momentum. I am not sold on 3D Max yet to be a team that I believe in too much, but especially in group stages, they're usually quite solid. So I would say 3D Max is one that I believe in a little bit more. Um, the teams to make it through. Now, who do I think will make it through is a great question. I think Bait and OG have the potential to. I think MIBR is good enough. Out of Bait and OG, the thing is that I might have to decide for one of those two teams to go out of the list because ideally this is what my list would look like. Now, do I think M80 will make it through? No, I think they've been incredibly inconsistent. The only teams they've been able to beat in the last 1-2 months have been primarily North American, and as you all know, Complexity didn't make it, Energy didn't make it, Wildcard didn't make it. So there's no NA team here, no NA teams here, and I think they could literally lose to anyone here. Bed Boom, as I told you, I really want to consider. Same with Pain and VP. Those are the three teams that I'm thinking about. I don't think Nemiga have got what it takes, although I love them. I think Legacy are playing some legitimate Counter-Strike, but I don't see that happening. And I think for Limvision and Tylo is probably over, although I really like Tylo. I really enjoy them. Um, for the 3-0, I think, again, it is really difficult to say, but I think one should be crazy not to put Limb Vision in there, even though they have been incredibly impressive in BO1s. And I actually feel weird putting them here because I think literally there might be a better opportunity for Nemiga to be 3-0 here, even though they're a good team, or to be 0-3. Yeah, I will still put Limb Vision. The second team that I put, I think the loser of M80 and Tai Lu could be down there. And I feel like for the loser of Pain Namik, there always will be a bit of an argument. For whatever reason, I think Legacy will. I think Legacy got this. I am still thinking about it because Legacy did play a good game of Counter Strike against Wildcard. They took down Imperial. They beat the Chingears Warriors. Lost to Bad Boom in Limb Vision and BO1s though. So a little bit volatile, but against Wildcard they were solid. Against Wildcard they were really, really solid. And I'm trying to figure out for myself how much that one best of 3 means against Wildcard for the side of Legacy and how much they can keep improving. Because I really like what Lux is doing. There's the prodigy of Biguzera and trying to be his own version of Biguzera as an in-game leader and an aggressive rifle at the same time. I like what they're doing. In the same time though, they are the type of team that could lose against MIBR, and I do think MIBR is the best Brazilian team if we're counting, of course, Fury in there as well. I think MIBR is right now better than everyone else. I would say usually Pain is really good, but I'm not sure with Pain with the amount of time that they've had to actually work with DGT. I think they could still surprise a lot of people. The thing is, I want to put both Bait and OG in. I know one of those teams is probably not going to make it. I am struggling to find to come up with a solution on or a decision on which one of those two teams won't make it. I think FaZe, Heroic, MIBR, Furia, Falcons, and 3D Max are safe options. M80, I don't think will make it. They are a candidate for a 0-3 as well, but I'm just not sold on it. Nemiga, I don't think get a 0-3. I think Tyler will win a map. I will. Do I put Legacy 0-3? This is a really tough one, guys. This is an incredibly tough one. Ooh. Okay, you know what? I think I have an idea on how I wanna approach this. I will go between Bait and OG. I will be a bit of a traitor, but I will say I don't think OG make it. I will put Bait in, even though I think they're a little bit more volatile than OG is. Um, I really want to put Pain in there for whatever reason. I really want to be that guy to say, hey, you know what? 1 month with DGT is going to be enough. I think VP will choke this as much as they can always make it through. I think they will choke it, and probably the bad energy within the team will be enough. Knowing that Electronic is going out, I there still is something within me screaming Virtus Pro should be good enough, right? Virtus Pro should be good enough to make it through a stage like this one. I just think there's too many teams that are going to be motivated and playing on a high level for them to make it through. I don't think M80 make it through. Nemiga, I don't think make it through. Tyloo don't make it through. I have an argument for Pain. I have an argument for Bedboom, and I have an argument for OG. Those are the three teams that I'm thinking about when I see that final spot. VP is not going to be 0-3. That's 100%. I don't think Tyloo's going to be 0-3. I don't think Nemiga is going to be 0-3. So realistically, for me, it's between M80 and Legacy, which is quite interesting because Legacy is playing MIBR, M80 is playing Tyloo. That is weird. Okay, you know what? I will go with the Legacy 0-3. I know this is probably the most newbie thing I can do, considering I just said that I actually like what Lux is doing with the team, and I think they could be legit. I will still put them 0-3 because I think against MIBR they will lose their first game, and after that I think they could just get exposed by playing against, I don't know, the loser of FaZe Clan Heroic, and they could find themselves in the 0-2 and then play against a solid team in a BO3. So those are going to be my 0-3s. Those are going to be my 3-0s. And now the last team that I think could make it. Now, the thing is, if it goes to a 2-2 deciding matchup, I think Virtus Pro could actually, on the back of experience, beat all of those guys. Pain is probably, if given enough time, going to be great. Because let's not forget, Pain has been changing positions of players every single event pretty much for the last couple of months. I think with a little bit of stability, they're definitely more reliable. I like Bedboom, but I don't think they're reliable whatsoever. OG is reliable. I am disputing how high the floor could be, even though I love Crizzen and I love what they're doing with the team. I think I'm starting to think against Virtus Pro, and something is dragging me towards Spain here. Something really is. I think Pain, Bedboom, and OG is the conversation to be had right now. I will be a little bit more creative with this, and I will say I don't think Pain is going to be as shit as they were in the last event that they play, because this is probably going to be the main argument for a lot of people. The fact that Pain went into PGL Astana and, as we said, lost the 0-2 to MIBR, 0-2 to Odekin, a 0-2 to Astralis, and took down only Hotu, and before that lost to Wildcard and Mouse and Complexity. And it's been such a tough couple months for Pain that I just find it difficult to believe that this is how things are going to be at the major as well. I hope that they've had enough time to practice and actually come prepared to this one, because it's been, almost a month since the last time they played. But OG's pretty warm. You know what? Yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna give the credit to Crizzen and Co. I think they will play well. Improvement from Pain probably would be enough. Maybe, but I will just go with OG because reason speaking here. And as much as I want to believe in Pain, and I would advise you to consider that option, I don't think it's reasonable enough. Bedboom, same. I don't think it's safe enough, and I'm gonna try and play this one in the safest way possible. But yeah, those are probably going to be the pickems that we're left with. Falcons and 3D Max for a 3-0. Lin Vision and Legacy for the 0-3. And then we've got FaZe Clan, Heroic, Bait, Fury, MIBR, and OG to make it through. Tyloo not to make it through. Nemiga not to make it through. Bedboom, M80, Pain, and VP. This is a really tough pickem. And honestly, there is an opportunity that all of this just goes in the bin, but I think this looks fairly reasonable, and this is what I'm gonna stick to. Make sure you let me know what you think about it. Make sure you let me know what your pick'ems are, and to round it out, I will leave a link on top of the description where you can do your free pick'ems without having to purchase a pass for within the game, where you can do your free pick'ems on Skin Club. And doing your free pick'ems on Skin Club, even if you have missed out on the first stage, you can still do them for the second stage completely free, and you're still participating for an opportunity to win an old Dragon Lore, and then potentially some other skins that are adding up to a total price pool of $20,000, which is quite a lot. So yeah, make sure you go and check it out. If you do your pick'ems there, you're supporting me as well, which is heavily appreciated. And uh yeah, I guess I'm gonna see you for the next stage of the pick'ems, when I will actually have some pretty interesting guests to discuss some of the games and discuss how things have been going on between this stage and the next. So it will be a banger. I'll see you in a couple days with the new vid. Thank you for watching. Leave me a like and a subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.